Hi there, I'm Kean Cruz, author of Dad Bod, and you're listening to Pop Goes Your World.
If you haven't already, subscribe on iTunes. And while you're there, please leave us a rating and review.
And now it's time for our featured presentation.
I'm Chris McBrien, and the pop culture from Generation X is everything to me.
And I'm Derek Myers, and I'm here to educate Chris on the great pop culture of today's generation.
Episode 333, Mr. Mom Movie Review. Hey, I'm Chris McBrien along with Derek Myers, and this is Pop Goes Your World, the pop culture podcast for the generations. Now, this week, it was over to me to suggest a movie for us to watch and review. I went back to 1983 and the Michael Keaton movie, Mr. Mom. But before we get to our movie review, Derek, what pop culture have you been able to take in lately, my friend?
Hey, Chris. Not nearly as much as usual, and not nearly as many great things as usual. But we'll run through the very short list real quick.
This should be interesting.
So I'll start with the one that you'll actually know a little bit about. So I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that some older shows have restarted from the beginning.
Yes.
And so I had a chance to go back and watch the pilot episode of The A-Team from 1983.
Oh, wow.
It was a two-parter. I guess it probably aired as a 2-hour made-for-TV movie
I would
sort of
guess
thing.
so, yeah.
I remember as a younger kid really loving this show, as many kids of my age, my generation did. I actually really, really like the movie they did about 15 years ago with Liam Neeson and, Bradley Cooper.
We
I
watched
really
it for
enjoyed
the
that one.
podcast.
We did. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort of one of my guilty pleasure movies. I really, really like that. So I had a chance to watch the pilot this week. And the first thing that jumped out at me that I didn't know was in the pilot episode, the guy who plays Face is not Kirk Benedict. It's a guy named Tin Dunnigan.
Oh.
And he was in the pilot. And apparently after the pilot aired, or after the executives watched the pilot, they liked the show. They greenlit the show. They didn't believe that actor looked old enough to be a Vietnam vet. So they recasted someone who was who looked a little bit older, who I think was almost the same age in real life. And then we got who we got from Battlestar Galactica. So I was like, oh, okay.
Starbuck.
But the character, but the character in the pilot is the same. He's sort of same personality, same shenanigans. Like the writing of the character didn't change. They literally just recast the actor for the ongoing series. So, but one of the things that I like when I watch these old episodes, and it's not just the A-Team, for a lot of the programming that they show from the 60s and 70s and early 80s, they put up a title card before any of it comes on, and they said,
I've seen
some
those,
of the things that you're going to see in this episode are not considered appropriate by today's standards, and ultimately were probably not appropriate back then. Rather than not air this show or edit it, we have chosen to air it in the way that it was aired, to encourage dialogue about what the problems were and what we basically learned from seeing these kinds of things. And they do this for a lot of shows. So I'm like, oh, I wonder what the problem was. Yeah, the problem. Hannibal in this is supposed to be like a master of disguise. So at one point he's playing like a Latino guy who's like a bum, and in another part he's playing an Asian guy running a laundry store.
Oh, God.
And it is very, very inappropriate. I was like, okay, I now understand why that little warning was at the beginning. So, but I mean, again, it's a slice of life, slice of Arcana, Americana from 1983. So
there you go.
Anyway, it was fun to revisit it. And one of the things that I really liked was, as I mentioned a minute ago, I liked the movie that they made. The characters in the movie, they really drew a lot of inspiration from the pilot. Like a lot of the characters had a lot of the same names, a lot of the details about their backstory, the names of places where they were, things in their file. So it's clear that when they decided to do the movie, I want to say the movie was from 2010. It's somewhere around 2010.
Sounds right.
When they did that movie, whoever was writing it, they genuinely did their homework and went back to the pilot and found those little details and threw them in there. And I was like, which I'm glad. I mean, it didn't change my enjoyment of the movie. I still like the movie, but I kind of respect it a little more now that they stayed close to the source material. Because if I had been more of a super fan of the show when the movie came out, knowing that those details were still accurate, it probably would have, I would have appreciated that. So, because so many times when they do these remakes or reimaginings, they like throw so much out the window, and it's like, guys, the stuff was right there. How hard would it have been to look that up? Well, clearly it wasn't that hard, and they did it. So that was neat. Then I had a chance to watch a movie. So on Amazon, as I mentioned before, the algorithms on my streamers, they're really starting to get to know me.
Yeah.
So a new movie showed up, and it's like, we think you might like this. I'm like, oh, what's it called? And it's called The Accident Man, Hitman's Holiday. And I realized that sounds like a sequel. So sure enough, there is an original movie called Accident Man. I was like, okay, look it up. So The Accident Man is about a hitman who makes all of his assassinations look like accidents. And I was like, okay, kind of a bizarre title until you sort of realize what it is. And
Bad title, interesting.
Yeah, it's kind
premise.
of a bad title, but it was interesting, yeah. And honestly, I didn't recognize anybody in this movie. It takes place in England, so it's predominantly British cast.
Okay.
The main actor, the actual accident man of the title, is an actor named Scott Adkins. Again, I looked up his IMDb. He basically reminded me, his IMDb looks a lot like Jason Statham. It's like he's just in these action movies where he's kicking ass and there's a hot chick and he's like fighting the man and all the rest. I'm like, okay, so it's sort of that vibe. And he's a reasonably good looking guy and he's in pretty good shape. He's probably in his like late 30s, early 40s kind of thing. Well, he's probably not even that old. But anyway, so I thought, well, if the algorithm's suggesting I watch this new one, let me start with the original. So I had a chance to watch the first one, this Accident Man from 2018. And man, it was way better than it had any right to be. It was pretty good. I really liked it. Like I figured I would, but I was surprised at how much I liked it. So I haven't had a chance to actually watch the newer one from 2022, the part 2, the Accident Man, Hitman's Holiday. But it's on my list for this week. So when we do our next show, I'll be telling you what I think of it. But this algorithm's been pretty accurate up until now. So I have a feeling I'm going to like it a lot. So if you're looking for just a mindless shoot 'em up, blow 'em up movie where the guy is like a hitman who makes all his jobs look like he's, the person's had an accident and so that he can't get caught, if that sounds like that might be interesting, this is it. And again, it doesn't take itself super serious. Like, it's not trying to be David Fincher's Seven, where it's like, oh, it's this grim noir detective. Like, how did they do it? No. It's basically on the same level as a Jason Statham action movie. Like, she's gonna come in and kick some ass and blow some stuff up, and a car chase and a couple of fights, and it was exactly what I expected it to be. But like I said, I liked it a lot more than I expected to. So those are the two things I watched: the A-Team and Accident Man.
Very nice. Okay, one thing I want to mention off the top here: we have some new studio equipment. We've upgraded the studio around here. I did want to apologize for the sound issues that we've been experiencing here on the podcast for like the past several months. We've been struggling with the studio, so we have updated the studio equipment. So all good to go. Just wanted to mention that. So that's exciting. And my pop culture thing. So I've mentioned before, I really love the streaming service Tubi. It is so cool. There's so much good stuff on there. So I decided to go on there. I had some free time the other day. I'm like, I'm going to put on Tubi and see if I can find something. So I'm going through it and I find the Bay City Rollers TV show. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And it's from 1976, just one season. And I tried looking it up online, like on IMDb and stuff like that. There's literally no trace of this show anywhere. And I'm like, what the hell is this? On IMDb, there's what's called the Croft Superstar Hour. It seems to line up with the episodes of this, but that's not the title of the show. When you watch it on Tubi, it distinctly says the Bay City Rollers Show, and that's what the show is. But it's Sid and Marty Croft present the Bay City Rollers Show. It is so bad. Like, it is just terrible. So it starts out, there's like this dumb, like Benny Hill short film thing going on. And then there's a sketch, it's called Horror Hotel with Billy Hayes. She was Witchy Poo from HR Puff and stuff. And she's in full costume as Witchy Poo doing Horror Hotel. And I'm like, what the hell? It was just crazy. So here's the thing. I always thought that they were called the Bay City Rollers because they were from Bay City, Michigan, right? So watching this show, and they open with this stupid song, and then the band starts to talk. They've all got Scottish accents. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Well, it turns out they're from Scotland. And when they wanted to come to the States and try and get, success over here, they changed their name. I think they really liked the name Rollers as a name for their band. And they wanted something American, sort of American sounding, kind of go in front of it. They literally took a map and threw a dart at the map, and it landed near Bay City, Michigan. So they're like, we're the Bay City Rollers. I always thought they were from Bay City, but they're not. So anyway.
The only reason I knew they were Scottish, two things is my father-in-law is Scottish, so
Okay.
I knew it from that, but because he had mentioned it at some point. But also in the Michael Myers movie, So I Married an Axe Murderer, where he's playing both himself and the dad.
Right.
The dad was a huge fan of the Bay City Rollers, and I think that's what generated the discussion. I think I mentioned to my wife, I'm like, why would he be so into the Bay City Rollers? She goes, well, they're from Scotland. And I'm like, how do you know that? She goes,
What?
my dad's from Scotland. Trust me, I'm right on this one. I was like, oh, okay. But
I
yeah,
just
like
assumed
you,
they
I
were
had no
from Bay
idea
City.
until
Nope.
a Scottish person
Yeah.
corrected me.
So this show exists on Tubi, and it is like a slice of 1976, but it is just absolute crap. But it was like almost like good crap, just because it was so crazy. So anyway, that's what I watched. So I also have this for you.
Here's your dad joke of the week.
Derek, I recently joined a nudist colony. And let me tell you, the first few days were the hardest. You liked it. You laughed at that.
that made me laugh.
Nice.
I'm sure they laughed at you too.
Oh, I knew it. I'm f***ing overdressed.
Let's put him in a movie.
Well, if you don't make any calls, you don't make any sales.
Don't think of me as an I'm not trying to be an
The four of us knew it would be great.
Is it a bargain trick question?
It's a bargain trick question, you ice hole.
Song and dance man.
Can you spot me a 20?
Thumbs down.
There was a track, and there was Vegas, but like f***ing park or f***ing movie. Like f***ing forget it.
Not necessarily things that make for, good podcasting.
All right, my friends. So we went back to 1983 to watch Mr. Mom. I'm going to let you start things off, and I would like you to let me know, have you seen the movie since the 80s, and what were your first impressions on watching it this week?
So the very first time that I remember seeing Mr. Mom was probably in the last year or two. It was on one of probably the 80s channel. And I'm like, oh, I don't think I've ever seen this. So I recorded it and watched it and remember it sort of being like, okay. Again, not really my jam. It was fine. And then when you had said, hey, let's go back and rewatch it, excuse me, I was like, well, okay. Maybe it was just, bad day, bad time. I'll give it another go. And I believe I had to watch it on Tubi, if I remember correctly. So
Yes.
That's probably why you were on Tubi
Maybe.
finding your Bay City
Yep.
Rollers there.
It was on Tubi.
Yeah. And, again, I don't really have a pre-existing relationship with this movie. I like Michael Keaton. I know this was one of his earlier roles. I'm not a huge fan of... Is Terry Garr plays the wife, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Not a huge fan of her for whatever reason. I don't know.
Oh, man. Me and
I
you are
just
going to
don't really
fight.
like her.
We are going to fight. I'm telling you. I love Terry Garr. I love Terry Garr.
So I was like, yeah, whatever. And then, so I watched it. I mean, it was fine. I can see how in the moment it was a big deal because of the whole, the role reversals of a man being the stay-at-home mom. And somebody had to be the first one to have a big movie about this. And this may not have been the first one, but I think this was one of the first ones. And it was obviously one of the most successful ones early on. I think it did very well in the box office. If I remember, I think you were telling me that last week. And there, from that sort of time capsule perspective, from that early 80s, a movie that's trying to talk about an important social issue, but wrapping it in comedy, I can certainly appreciate it for that. And there were certainly a lot of things in it that I did like. I didn't love it, but I liked it. But we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I hadn't seen this movie since the 80s. So the thing for me was it's very formulaic. It's predictable. It's kind of simple, but it's pretty good, I thought. And I thought mostly due to the cast That's what I felt, which, I mean, we'll get to shortly. But we always start off this way. 1983, the box office. What was the number one film at the box office back in 1983, Derek? What do you think?
Well, it had to be Jedi, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi by far was the number one movie. The number two movie was actually Tootsie, which came out in December of 1982, but it made most of its money in 83.
Carrie Gar's in that one too, right?
She is. Yep. She was nominated for Best Supporting Actress in that movie. Number three was Flashdance. Number four was Trading Places, which was just on TV tonight, by the way. And number five was War Games. And then rounding out the top 10, number six, Octopussy. Staying Alive was number seven. That was the sequel to Saturday Night Fever. It was terrible. It's where like he goes to like Broadway.
But it had that great song by Frank Stallone.
Exactly. How could it not be popular? And Risky Business was number eight. Mr. Mom was number nine.
Oh, there you go. Broke the top 10.
Yep. National Lampoon's Vacation rounded out the top 10. So some good movies back then.
Yeah.
So this movie was directed by Stan Dragotti, who also directed Love at First Bite and The Man with One Red Shoe and Necessary Roughness. That was like later in the 90s.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Necessary Roughness with Scott Bakula.
Yes, that's the one. So this movie was written by John Hughes, and it was released by 20th Century Fox on July 22nd, 1983, on a budget of $5 million, but it took in $63 million. So big hit, that's for sure.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
So how it got started was John Hughes actually wrote an article in the National Lampoon about this sort of disastrous day that he had looking after his two kids. And producers liked the article, they liked the idea, and they hired him to write a full script. And Hughes at the time was working in TV for Aaron Spelling at the time. So in order to get Aaron Spelling to agree to let John Hughes write the script for the movie, the producers gave Spelling an executive producer's credit on this film.
I caught that when the thing, I was like, oh yeah, geez, I
That's
forgot
why
how
he
big a
was-
deal he was in the 80s and early 90s.
That's why he was executive producer, just because he let Hughes come and write the script. And this was actually conceived as a made-for-TV movie. But then the studio thought, nah, we should make it a feature film and release it. So based on this movie and its success, the studio then gave Hughes a $30 million 3-film deal, which he went on to make The Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, and Weird Science. Not too
Jeez.
shabby. Not too shabby.
Talk about hitting a home run.
No kidding. So,
Or 3 home runs, if you will, yeah.
and this movie, Mr. Mum, was actually originally offered to Ron Howard to direct, but he had already signed on to direct Splash. And when the studio was considering Ron Howard as the director, the producer watched Ron Howard's movie Night Shift, and the producer immediately thought Michael Keaton would be perfect as the lead in this movie. And that's how he got cast. So that was his feature film debut, Night Shift, when he was Billy Blazkowski. And we reviewed that movie here.
Yeah,
on
it was
the
good.
podcast. Yeah, it was a good one. So he had done TV for years. He actually got started in Pittsburgh on local television doing Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And he did all kinds of local theater in Pittsburgh. And then he went out to LA and he landed some guest roles on TV like Maude, Mary Tyler Moore Show. And then he got his own show called Working Stiffs with Jim Belushi. Only lasted 9 episodes. And then came Night Shift, and that sort of changed things. So Michael Keaton is not his real name, Derek. Do you know what Michael Keaton's real name is?
Yeah, isn't it Michael Douglas?
It is. And that name was already taken. And so was Mike Douglas, because Mike Douglas was a daytime TV talk show. So he went with Michael Keaton. Apparently he just went into the phone book and just kind of went through and saw Keaton and said, that's it. So after he
I
did
think
this,
when we did we did our show on Beetlejuice, that was the whole trivia section was I gave you all this obscure trivia about Michael Keaton. I think that was, I remember doing the research then about like how he got his name and how,
Yep, that's where I got it from. So after he did this movie, he did Johnny Dangerously, Gung Ho, Beetlejuice, and Batman. Derek, you might be the biggest Batman fan that I know. I'm sure we talked about this, but what did you think of Michael Keaton as Batman?
Loved him.
A lot of negative fan reaction back then.
Yeah, I mean, in the moment, it was sort of like, well, it's not like, so again, we don't want to get too much off on that tangent, but in comic book movies today, the actors get super ripped. Like, look at Hugh Jackman. Like you know, it's incredible, the body transformation, that these actors go through to look like the illustrations in comic books. In the 80s, they weren't doing that. They gave Michael Keaton a plastic suit with muscles on it. He didn't have. I mean, I'm sure he worked out a little bit to get fit, but he wasn't taking his shirt off and doing like they do in the Marvel movies now or the DC movies now, where you get to see these performers and you're like, God damn, that guy looks ripped. It's like, no. So I think was some of the fans' expectation when the movie came out in '89. They're like, well, Michael Keaton doesn't look like how Batman looks in the comics. Like, it's not real muscles and he's not tall enough. It's like, who cares? You're a big Batman fan. You're getting an actual serious full-length feature film. Enjoy it. So, yeah.
I think a lot of that negative fan reaction was when he was announced. Once they saw his performance, I think most people were like, okay, he's good. He pulled it off.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you think of him in this movie, in Mr. Bomb?
I think it was great. I think he did exactly what he was asked to do. Again, Michael Keaton, people forget, Michael Keaton started in comedy. He's got his comedic chops. Like, more recently, his stuff has been very serious and dramatic, as a lot of comic actors transition into more serious films. And Michael Keaton has done that very well over the years, but he can still be really funny when he needs to. And like
Tom Hanks did that. You know,
absolutely.
Tom Hanks is
Robin
a good
Williams,
example.
Jim Carrey, like tons of comedians you see can be very good dramatic actors. Some of them have gone on, again, Robin Williams, to win Oscars and other accolades. Like, comedians are very often can be very, very good straight men and serious dramatic performers. But
that's because a lot of comedy comes from pain. A lot of comedy comes from like serious things. Like, I remember a director I worked with years ago. He used to always say that comedy is never funny to the person it's happening to.
Right.
And that always stuck with me, because you're right. Like, so comedic actors, they come from a different place. There's a great line in the movie, my favorite year, where the actor says, "Dying is easy, comedy is hard." You know, and so those actors that can master comedy, I think, can go on and have serious careers. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, this was still when Michael Keaton was trying to, make a career as a funny actor in a comedy. And like you said, that list of movies you did, it was Night Shift and this and Gung Ho and Beetlejuice, like all comedies. I mean, he had a couple of more serious movies sort of coming through. He did Clean and Sober and a couple other ones, which maybe didn't land as well. He, hadn't really found his feet yet, but he was funny. He could carry a comedy and did for multiple films in a row. Like, it's clear that he's a funny guy, and in this case, he's the lead. It's a comedic lead in this. I don't know if we call it, like, the IMDb calls it a screwball comedy. I think that's a little bit unfair. I don't think that's a real accurate. I would just call it a comedy straight up.
Yeah, screwball comedies tend to be like some of those gender
It's like
roles
Animal
and stuff.
House or something. Like that to me is more of a screwball comedy.
Yeah, I want to talk about Terry Garr. I know you don't like her. I loved Terry Garr. She was one of my lifelong crushes. I always liked her. So she got started as a go-go dancer in Elvis Presley movies. And her and her best friend, Tony Basil, danced in those movies. Yes, I'm talking about the one that did Hey Mickey.
Hey Mickey. Yep.
Was it Hey Mickey or was it just Mickey?
I think it was just called Mickey.
Mickey. Yeah, I think it was just Mickey. So Terry Garr, I felt like she could do it all. In Young Frankenstein, I felt she was very sexy in that role. In Close Encounters, she did drama. In Tootsie, she was a hell of an actress. And movies like this one showed she could do comedy. And like I mentioned, she was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for Tootsie. So was her co-star Jessica Lange, though. Usually, two nominees in the same category for the same film tend to cancel each other out, but not in this case, because Jessica Lange won. She won the Academy Award that year. But oh man, you don't like Terry Garr? You didn't like Terry Garr? You're crazy, man.
I'm just not a fan. No.
I'm like, what? Why not? I mean, she's amazing. I can't take my eyes off of her when she's on screen.
No, see, I'm the opposite. Something about her look just doesn't sit with me right. I'm like, it's not that she's not attractive. I don't find her attractive, and it's something about her. I don't know. It's just that doesn't diminish her capacity as a performer. She's not a performer that I care for.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know. I think she's awesome. She's vulnerable. She's funny. She's dramatic. She has it all. Okay, so let's talk about Martin Mull. So he got his start on Mary Hartman, and Fernwood Tonight. I think most people know him from Roseanne. I'll always remember him from. I will always remember him from My Bodyguard. He was Clifford Peach's dad, the hotel manager. And he was actually Andy Samberg's grandfather on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Really?
Yeah, you liked watching that show, I think.
Yeah, I've been watching the reruns just recently, so
he's almost like one of those guys. You know, we mentioned them before, those actors that people recognize, but they don't always know their names. I liked him. I always thought he was solid. He kind of just always played himself, most of the time, but I thought he was good. So what do you think?
Yeah, I liked him. I liked because he's supposed to be like kind of creepy when he's around her. Like it's clear that his intentions pretty much right away. It's like, I'm going to steal this guy's wife. And I believed it. I believe he's the kind of guy that could do that. I think it was a convincing performance.
Christopher Lloyd, I want to mention, because I'm watching this movie and I'm like, what the hell is Christopher Lloyd doing in such a small part? But this was before Back to the Future.
Yeah. And how many years after Taxi?
Well, this Taxi was still going on at this point. And he was a TV actor, obviously, because back in those days, we've mentioned this before. Back in those days, you were either a TV actor or you were like a quote unquote movie star. And if you were in TV, you always aspired to be a movie star. TV was like a lesser art form, where it was considered to be. And that's just the way it was back then for a long time. Like a lot of TV actors could not transition into the movies. If you look at guys like Bill Cosby and Bob Newhart, they were just TV guys. They could not make it in the movies. And Christopher Lloyd was known for playing Jim Ignatowski on Taxi. He won 2 Emmys for that role. He was really good.
Wow,
yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, he was good. But he didn't really do movies up until this point. He had a small role in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest back in 76.
Yeah.
And that was really his debut. But other than that, he was not a movie guy until Back to the Future came out. But he kind of set me back. Jeffrey Tambor, I want to mention. He played Michael Keaton's boss at the car plant. He's another one of those guys. Those guys that most people are like, oh, I know that guy. I've seen him. Like,
I think he's probably become Jeffrey Tambor over the years. But
he might have escaped it a bit. But I mean, he did these small TV roles for years. He did everything from Starsky and Hutch to MASH to Three's Company. I remember him on Three's Company. He played this crazy dentist that Jack went to see. In 1982, Derek, they made a TV show out of the movie 9 to 5. And he played Dabney Coleman's character, Franklin Hart.
Okay, I can see it. Yeah.
Millennials probably know him best from Arrested Development, I would think.
You definitely was the dad in Arrested Development. He was on Larry Sanders Show. The whole, hey now, like that's him. He's the one who did that. And then obviously in more recent years, he was on the show Transparent. And then after that, he ended up, getting canceled. So
he was also in a small movie, which was a personal favorite of mine, even though it was bad. Back in like 1981, it was called Saturday the 14th with Richard Benjamin and Paula Prentice. One thing about him, though, going back and watching this, Jeffrey Tambor, man, that guy never had hair.
No.
Like, he was probably bald at like 12 years old. Like, he just never had hair. So, Ann Gillian, I want to talk a bit about her. She played Joan, Terry Garr's friend who hits on Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I didn't recognize her.
So she started in small TV roles. She was on The Love Boat. Oh, you know how much I like The Love Boat. And then she got her own show. It was called It's a Living. And then she appeared in this movie as the seductive neighbor. So she became a famous sex symbol at the time, especially from It's a Living. Yeah. And then she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And she had to undergo a double mastectomy, which is devastating, for a woman who's known as a sex symbol. So she dedicated her time to being an advocate for cancer research and awareness. And then there was this made-for-TV movie called The Ann Gillian Story, which was all about her battle with cancer. And she played herself in that movie. And she was nominated for an Emmy, and she won the Golden Globe Award for her performance in that. And she was also nominated for Emmys in Mae West and Ellis Island. She was definitely a talented actress. And I thought she was just great in this role in Mr. Mom. What do you think of her in this?
Yeah, no, I thought she did a good job. Yeah,
she was good. She was good.
Yeah.
So I really liked her. I want to give a couple of shout outs to people that had small roles in this movie. So Patty Deutsch, she was the girl that worked at the deli counter. Remember, she was like talking about the different hams and the different cheeses.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
She was a regular on Match Game. And she was also
Okay.
on Tattletales a few times with her husband, Donald Ross. He was a writer. Edie McClurg, this was obviously before Ferris Bueller's Day Off or Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah.
Up until this movie, she'd done the Groundlings, the improv group in L.A., and she was in Carrie. She was one of the teenage girls in the shower scene.
Never seen it.
She didn't appear nude in that one, but she didn't even have a line in that movie, I don't think. But she was in Cheech and Chong's next movie in 1980.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
Yes,
she was so funny in that movie. Oh my gosh,
She was great.
Oh, she was awesome. She was also Mrs. Poole.
That's where I remember
the
her from,
Hogan
yeah.
family. That's where I think most people know
the
her
next
from.
door neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I would
Between
also
that
be
and Ferris Bueller, I think that's where most people
Yeah.
would recognize her from.
Although I would be remiss if I didn't mention that she was also the next door neighbor in Small Wonder. So,
Yep.
Yeah, so gotta mention that. A couple other shout outs. Derek McGrath. I want to mention him. He's a Canadian actor. He was one of the ad executives. He's probably best known for his role on Cheers as Andy, the crazy guy that was stalking Diane. He has been a working actor for years. He had a recurring role on Kim's Convenience, playing Frank the Handyman with your good friend Paul Sung-Young Lee.
Paulie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Derek McGrath, like he was a very unique. actor.
Was he in that one, the Secret Identity show? Yeah, My Secret Identity.
Yes,
with,
he was. Yep, Canadian show. Yep.
Jerry O'Connor.
Yes, that's the one.
That's where I recognize him
I
from.
also want to mention the two sons, the older of the two sons, Fred Kohler. He was also on Kate and Alley. He was Jane Curtin's son on that show. I recognized him when I was watching this. So,
Yeah, I recognize him from some. I looked up his stuff. He'd been in a lot of things. I'm like, oh, I'm sure I've seen him in other stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so we get to the movie itself. I want to talk about how it's somewhat dated. Let's be honest. So the concept itself, you mentioned this back in 1983. It's really flipped gender roles. Like, I mean, the man was still the primary breadwinner in a lot of American families in 1983. And so the idea of a man staying home and the woman going to work, this was considered novel, at the time. So that sort of dated the film. A couple other things I made note of. The burgundy interior of Christopher Lloyd's car. was like, oh my God, is this movie dated? And also my wife pointed out the red and burgundy washer and dryer. She's like, that is as 80s as you can get right there.
Yeah, the color palettes are usually like between clothing, hairstyle, and just general color palettes of settings. Like that is almost always a giveaway if a movie is from the 60s, 70s, or 80s, or even 90s to that extent.
Right.
You can just usually pick it out right away and be like, bam, there you go.
Also, the boardroom, everyone in there, and I mean every single person in there is smoking.
Smoking with the door closed.
It looks
no
like a
ventilation.
pool hall.
Yeah.
And there's like McDonald's cups and there's like a bucket of chicken on the table. Mm-hmm. I also like how they refer to it as the Colonel chicken.
Colonel's chicken, yeah.
And my wife is like, don't they mean KFC? And I'm like, they didn't call it KFC back then because it was Kentucky Fried Chicken until the word fried became sort of synonymous with unhealthy, probably like in the 90s or something. But so also the grocery store. So I made a couple of notes on this scene. The T-bone steak is $1.98 a pound.
Wow.
There's those big 2-liter glass bottles of 7-Up. I was like, they don't make those. They're all plastic. And there were bottles of rum in the store for sale. And in that
you can get that in the States, right? Like, I mean, here in Canada, that's only a more recent thing where you can start to get alcohol in the grocery stores. But in the U.S., you've always been able to get alcohol at the grocery store. That's not new.
Like hard liquor? Like, I mean, you can maybe get beer, but I think you can get like Bacardi rum. But who knows?
Oh, yeah. As a guy who likes an occasional rum, when I'm in the States, I often pick mine up at the grocery store while I'm getting my mixers and snacks.
There you go. So I like how this whole scene plays out. I thought it was pretty good. It's just basically chaos and just him going around the store. And my wife is like, oh, come on. How hard is it just to get groceries? But I think they were like exaggerating it, obviously, just to show how difficult it can be to go shopping with two kids. But also they were trying to show like maybe men just can't handle this, this domestic job.
Well, and I think that, I mean, part of my interpretation of a lot of scenes in this movie is, yes, I'm sure it was exaggerated for comedic effect, but half of your demographic, all the men watching this movie, the vast majority of them have probably never been in this situation and wouldn't have any idea that it is genuinely exaggerated.
Right.
Like some men are probably watching this movie going, oh my God, is that what my wife has to do every time she goes for groceries? Well, good for her. Like, you know, they're not jumping up and saying, I'm going to take a turn. Why don't I watch the kids while you go for groceries? I'm sure it wasn't changing anybody's mind, but I think that was part of it, is they knew they could exaggerate and make this even, you know, to the extreme because it's funny, but also because so many of the people in the audience would not have any frame of reference with which to counteract it. And women probably find it hilarious because they're like, yeah, it could seem like that if you've never done it before, but once you've been doing it a while, you know, the routine becomes a routine. It just doesn't feel, it may, you know, you may genuinely have that many people in the grocery store, but once you know what you're doing, once you know where things are, you get into a routine like anything else in your life.
Another thing that I thought was dated was just this whole concept. The mere idea of a woman getting a job before a man is so ludicrous in 1983. Michael Keaton bets her $100. Yeah, he's going to get a job before her. That's crazy. And the kid is like, can we bet too? He's like, oh yeah, absolutely. Like, nobody thinks that she can do it. One thing I thought was interesting though, at the end of the movie, when Martin Mull is trying to get Terry Garr to come back to work at the ad firm, like to save the deal with the tuna client and all that, the repair woman that's in the house, she's given Terry Garr advice on how to negotiate her return to work. And she's like, tell him you want to work from home 2 days a week. And both me and my wife turned to each other. We're like, wow, that's like a 2025 thing. I didn't even think that was an option back in 1983.
Well, I mean, so many jobs, as we've learned, could very well have been done from home for a long time, but managers don't want that. Yeah. Back then it was
unheard of.
And again, and the fact that as a female in a world like, I mean, they showed The Office. It was almost all men. There was only a couple of women, and most of the women were in like support roles like secretaries and such. So to be someone who's actually at the same level as these other people who are, you know, sort of the top of the food chain, to have that kind of flexibility. But again, I guess it's like anything else, right? It comes down to what is your skill worth and what are they willing to pay? And what is the nature of the work you're doing? Is it kind of thing where you can, in theory, do it at home? And it's like, yes, a lot of jobs you don't need to be in the office to do. So if her part of her job is to come up with ideas and do presentation, like build the presentations, you could do that at home. Like, sure, why not? Even in the 80s, you could do that.
Absolutely. Oh, I want to mention too that the repair woman that I mentioned was played by Valerie Bromfield. So she did Second City in Toronto. She wrote for SCTV. She appeared on there from time to time. And she actually got started with Dan Aykroyd. So the two of them were a comedy team doing shows back in Toronto back in the early 70s. And she actually opened up the first episode of Saturday Night Live. She did a short monologue back in 1975 when they started that show. She didn't get to be in the main cast, but she was always like, she was pretty well known in the industry, I think, by her peers. She was one of those people that, you know, sometimes better known by the people on the inside than the general public. But
sure,
I'm going to give her a shout out. So Martin Mull comes to the house and he's wearing a suit, and Michael Keaton is in a bathrobe. So he changes into overalls and he's running a chainsaw, because the whole idea of the gender roles, it's like, this is what I guess is supposed to be masculine, you know, is he's trying to show to him. And in that scene, Martin Mull looks at Terry Garr and he's like, oh, Caroline, don't you look nice? And he puts his hand on her shoulder.
Yeah.
And then when he's walking her out to the car, he puts his hand on her back. And I'm like, man, men just patronized the shit out of women back in 1983. Like, it's so obvious, you know?
I got news for you. That's still happening.
Yeah, sadly, right? So Michael Keaton has to figure out how to use the washing machine. And one note that I made was there's like a box of Tide powder. I don't even think you can get that anymore. it seemed like it was very dated. I don't know. And also that old school vacuum cleaner that was Jaws, they called it.
Yeah.
It's got the bag on the side that like inflates full of air. You turn it on. Again, so dated. So I want to talk about the picnic scene.
That was definitely my favorite part.
That was a pretty good scene. And one thing you probably didn't notice this, but one of the guys at the picnic, I recognized him right away. His name's Ted Grossman. So in the movie Jaws, he was a stuntman, and he also played in that movie the guy in the rowboat. Remember, he's checking in on the Boy Scouts. He's like, "You guys okay over there?" And then the shark comes in and bites his leg off, and it goes down to the ocean floor. He was also in the Goonies. He was the dead FBI guy in the freezer. Remember? It's a stiff. Okay. Yeah. That guy. So he's doing the race in the picnic scene. And at one point, he's like grabbing Michael Keaton's leg so his boss can win the race. So I recognized him right away. So I made a note of that. I also liked in that scene how they used the Chariots of Fire sort of sounding theme.
Yes.
For the race. Yep. Like, do you think maybe they couldn't get the rights to the Vangelis song or something?
I think so. I think it was cheaper for them to just do something that sounded like it.
But later they used the theme from Jaws and the actual theme from Rocky.
Yeah.
So they obviously
pick
had
your moments,
money.
Right? So,
yeah, I guess. I don't know. It just seemed odd. So Michael Keaton starts to let himself go, and he grows a beard, and he's watching soap operas. And so first thing,
I lived through COVID. I can relate.
I want to talk first about the soap opera. So he's watching The Young and the Restless. And I like how his son comes in, and his son's like, "Is it Kevin's baby?" Kevin's a skunk. Michael Keaton's like, "Kevin gets all the girls." And the son's like, "He sure got Nikki." I was like, oh my gosh. So there was that, which I laughed at. And then the second thing was his beard. Okay. That beard was totally fake. You could totally tell. I don't know if Michael Keaton just couldn't grow a beard, or maybe if they just shot out a sequence. They didn't want to waste the
time.
I guess they just shot out a sequence, so they just said, "Well, we'll just sort of glue some hair on him." But it was so fake looking. But
it was funny, right? Like, to me, I didn't care that it was fake. The fact that it looked fake made it funny.
I guess. I like how Terry Garr calls him out on it. She's like, "What's going on with the beard?" He's like, "Hey, it's in the transitional stage. When it comes in, I'm going to look like that movie star. What's his name?" And she's like, "Orson Welles." Because he's put on weight. Yeah.
He's put on some weight. Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm going to go downstairs and sleep on the fat couch if I can fit through the door." Yep. And then he's always wearing that sort of sloppy flannel shirt. So I like.
He was 10 years ahead of his time with that shirt.
Oh yeah. Those things are comfortable, aren't they? I like how he dreams that he's in the soap opera. Terry Garr comes home and catches him kissing Ann Jillian, so she pulls a gun and shoots him, and he's like, "I love this shirt," which I thought was so funny. And then it was weird because he falls, and he like misses this chalk outline, and he like shimmies over to it. It just seemed like a weird sort of sight gag. I don't know why that was in there.
I laughed. It was funny.
One thing I wanted to mention about the house, I thought was an interesting directing style in this movie. The house seemed to be almost purposefully small and cluttered. I feel like they were trying to give like this claustrophobic feeling to it, almost to make it feel like he was trapped in there. Just a thought. That was my take.
Well, I mean, I think that it's with 3 young kids. Like, there was obviously clutter and mess in that, which, I think is just typical. If you got 3 kids, you're gonna have stuff underfoot all over the place. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that I don't know if it was a deliberate choice.
I feel like it was.
I can certainly agree with what you're saying. Yeah, with that interpretation, whether it was deliberate or not, you could certainly read that into it.
So the poker game, he has the poker game with the ladies from the neighborhood, and I don't know if you recognized her, but the one woman was Cousin Eddie's wife in National Lampoon's Vacation.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I didn't recognize her from that specifically, but I did recognize her.
So I like how Ann Jillian shows him her cards, and she's holding them like right in front of her cleavage, and she's like, "Are these any good?" He's like, "Oh yeah, you got 2 pair."
Yep.
And then they have the montage with the Rocky song, where they play "Flying High Now," and he sort of gets his act together. He's like leading the gym class. and he tames the vacuum, and he's like the crossing guard. He shaves his beard, and then he burns the flannel shirt. Mm-hmm. And then I love the scene with him and the kid about the whoopee. Because he convinces his son to give up his security blanket, the whoopee.
He doesn't get him to throw it in the fire, but he does get him to give it up. Yeah.
I love the speech he gives to him. He's like, you start with the whoopee, but soon it ain't enough. You're out on the street. You're looking for a quilt. Soon you're strung out with a bedspread, kid. Like, it was just so funny. I like that speech. So,
and I love at the end, then the kid's like, I need to be alone now.
Yes.
I need to spend some time alone or something. It was a good scene, but that was just a perfect ending.
I thought there was a good scene when he's waiting for Terry Garr to come home, and he makes this really nice dinner, but she's working late and she doesn't show up. And obviously it's played like you're supposed to feel bad for him. You know, I guess so. But part of me was like, this is basically what most American women had to deal with in the 50s, 60s, and 70s all the time, you know?
Yeah.
You know, but he gives some great advice, I thought. Probably one of my best lines in the movie. He's like, it's real easy to forget what's important, so don't. Mm-hmm. It's such a simple line, but I thought it was really, really good. So then she flies out to Hollywood to shoot the tuna commercial, and the stagehand who's running the clapboard between takes, Larry Flash Jenkins, I recognized him. He was Gummy in Fletch. I don't know if you remember him.
I don't remember.
He was also one of the guys who took Cameron Fry's car for a joyride around Chicago in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay. Yeah.
So I recognize him right away. Small actor, but I was like, oh my God. So Michael Keaton goes to the male strippers with the ladies, and then Martin Mull basically breaks into Terry Garr's hotel room. He pays off.
Yeah, that was very creepy.
Creepy. But I like that she slugs him. And then and then there's the final scene when Ann Gillian comes to the house to try and seduce Michael Keaton. And I love the scene. He's in the bathroom and he's running down all the reasons of why he should or shouldn't do this. And he's like, A, I should do this. B, C, and then he's like, N. And then, he goes through all the letters. And finally, Z, he's like, you're not going to do anything because you love your wife. And it was kind of neat. And then Jeffrey Tambor comes in and Michael Keaton just slugs him and just drops him. And I love the kid. The kid's like, wow, one punch. So I felt the ending of the movie was good. Like I said at the beginning, it's formulaic. It's very predictable. It is what it is. It's a sort of a typical sort of script. But still, as a small film, I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it was pretty good. So,
it was, like I said, it's fine. There are, like you said, some of the parts, especially the parts with the creepy boss, are somewhat outdated. But at the same time, it's unfortunate to say that some of that stuff still happens, and that women had to put up with that, and in many cases still do. And it's a reminder that some things don't change, even though they should. But it's also good that you see that, she stood up for herself and punched him in the face as he's lucky that's all she did. But no, the movie, again, it's a fine movie. It's there's nothing wrong with it. It's not something that I feel I need to go back and revisit anytime soon, but it's got its moments. I wouldn't tell people to avoid it. If you've never seen it and it comes on, sure, give it a watch. If you're a Michael Keaton fan or a Terry Garr fan, yeah, definitely give it a go. It's a slice of life from that early 80s, and some of the themes seem completely over the top and outrageous by today's standards, but you got to remember what it was in the moment when it came out.
There were so many movies in the 80s, especially comedies, that are just eminently rewatchable. Like, you just could watch them over and over and over and over again. This is not one of them.
I agree. I don't think you would want to rewatch. If this was on cable every week, you wouldn't watch it every week. But Trading Places comes on every week.
Absolutely.
I'm watching it every week.
I'm watching Trading Places. I'm watching Beverly Hills Cop. I'm watching Back to the Future. But Mr. Mom, maybe not. So you want to give it a rating out of 10 for me?
Maybe like a 6 or 6.5. Like, it wasn't bad, but it certainly wasn't my favorite. I'll probably give it I'll be generous. I'll give it a 6.5.
Okay, that's good. I had written down 6. For it, so we're both on the same page.
You talked me into it. I'll go back to a 6.
Yeah, I think that's what would be good. Okay, so that's the movie. What do you say that we have some
fun with Caveman.
All right, my man, it was my movie, so it's over to you. What have you got for trivia?
All right. Well, our segment and trivia segment is going to be a little longer tonight than it usually is. I got
That's
a
fine.
lot of stuff for you here.
All right,
Okay.
lay it on me.
So this movie's called Mr. Mom.
It is.
So I went through pop culture and I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions, and every answer is Mr. something.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to start with some songs. I will give you the name of the band, the name of the album, and the year it came out. I need you to give me the title of the song. Okay?
Okay, and Mr. is involved in some way.
Everyone starts with Mr. It starts with Mr. something. Every answer for every question I'm going to ask you tonight will be Mr. something.
Gotcha.
Okay? So the first one is from 1978. The band is ELO, the Electric Light Orchestra, and it's from the album Out of the Blue. What Mr. song am I looking for?
Is it Mr. Blue Sky?
Yes!
Oh, yes.
It is.
Oh, yes. I like
All
ELO.
right.
ELO, yeah.
This one's from 1995. The artist is Shaggy. I can't give you the name of the album because that's the name of the song.
Oh, is it Mr. Boombastic?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I remember that one.
All right. 1987. Guns N' Roses from their Appetite for Destruction album.
Oh, I was going to say Dr. Feelgood. That was Doctor.
No, it's got to be Mr.
It was from Appetite for Destruction.
Yep.
Oh, jeepers. It's not coming to me. So, is it? Oh, wait a minute. It was about drugs too. Was it Mr. Brownstone? Yeah.
Yes.
About heroin.
There you go.
Yes.
All right. From 1993, the band is the Counting Crows from their album August and Everything After.
Was it Mr. Jones?
Yes. Yes, it was. All right. Here's a nice, easy one.
I was thinking
for
it
you.
was Mr. Jones and Me, but yeah, okay.
So this one's a nice, easy one. 1983, the band is Styx, and the album is Kilroy Was Here.
Mr. Roboto.
Yes. All right. I'm gonna give you 2 clues for this song.
Okay.
It's been recorded a few times, but these are the 2 that are really gonna give it to you. So let me get through both of them before you, because I know you're gonna know it. So the first one is from 1965. Bob Dylan, Bringing It All Back Home is the name of the album. The second one, the cover from 1968 by William Shatner from The Transformed Man. Name that song.
Oh, jeepers.
Mr. Something.
I don't know. I can't think of it.
It's Mr. Tambourine Man.
Oh, Mr. Tambourine Man. And Shatner did that?
Shocked that,
my
yes. Oh, I'm shocked that you missed that.
Yeah.
All right. 1984. The band is New Edition from their first album, New Edition. It's a big hit in 1984. Mr. Something.
I don't know. I was not a big fan of that new wave stuff, so I don't know.
It's Bobby Brown, man. The song was Mr. Telephone Man.
No, don't know it.
All right. All right, the last one, and this is for our friend Greg Martin. Ozzy Osbourne's 1991 album, No More Tears.
Oh, yes.
Had a song, Mr. Something.
Mr. Crowley?
No.
Oh, this was from... That wasn't
1991.
From, 91. I'm thinking way back to like Blizzard of Oz.
No. So I believe it was the first song on the album.
Oh, no.
No, you either know it or you don't.
No, I don't know. I can't think of it.
No, it's called Mr. Tinker Train.
No,
It's a
no,
great
I don't know that. No, Greg's going to hit me. Nope, don't know it.
Okay. So we're moving from songs to bands. We're going to flip this.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the name of their album, the date, and the name of one of the hit songs from that album. I just need the name of the band, and it's going to start with Mr. Something. All right. I only got a couple in this one. So the 1991 album was called Lean Into It, and the big hit was To Be With You.
Oh, that was Mr. Big.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Second one. From 1985, the album was called Welcome to the Real World, and the hit on that album was called Broken Wings.
Mr. Mister. Wasn't it Mr.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that song. It was
I could only
big.
find 2 for that one that were
was
that fit the
big.
category.
Yep.
All right. We're going to move to movies. We only got a few of these as well. Again, they all start with Mr. Something.
Okay.
All right. From 2005. A husband and wife struggle to keep their marriage alive until they realize they are both secretly working as assassins.
Well, that was Mr. and Mrs. Jones or Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Close. There you go.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you. All right. 1939. Going way back.
Going way back.
A naive youth leader is appointed to fill a vacancy in the U.S. Senate.
Mr. Deeds Goes to Washington.
Close, but not quite. You want to give it another crack?
No, that was the remake. It was Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
There you go. All right. The next one's from 1995.
Okay.
A frustrated composer finds fulfillment as a high school music teacher.
Oh, this was with Richard Dreyfuss, Mr. Holland's Opus.
Yes. All right. I got a couple of tougher ones. The movies get a little more obscure to fit the category. Sure. 2011. The life of a businessman begins to change after he inherits 6 rare animals, and as he transforms his apartment to accommodate their unusual needs, his professional side starts to unravel.
Is this with Jim Carrey?
Yep.
I had not seen this, but it was Mr. Popper's Penguins?
Yes.
It was like all these CGI penguins and it's stupid. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I've heard of it.
From 2002. A sweet-natured, small-town guy inherits a controlling stake in a media conglomerate and begins to do business his way.
Ooh, that doesn't sound familiar.
It was the actor's birthday yesterday, and all his movies have been on TV in the last 2 days.
Oh, gosh.
You mentioned this 35 seconds ago.
Oh, I don't know.
Mr. Deeds, starring Adam Sandler.
Mr. Deeds. Oh, man. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it was the Sandman's birthday yesterday.
Oh, it was.
All right.
Sanders. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well,
that was the remake. That's right. Yeah.
Yes, it was. Yes. All right. Last one in this category, this part of this category from 1993. You should get this. A former professional wrestler is hired to be the bodyguard and caregiver for a couple of bratty kids whose inventor father is being stalked by a rival. The wrestler is Hulk Hogan.
I was thinking that, and I thought he was like Mr. Muscles or something with a sand. Oh, that was no. Hulk Hogan was in it.
Yes, I just said that.
I don't know.
It was called Mr. Nanny.
Oh, I've never even heard of that. No.
All right. Okay. Now we're just going to move into some famous pop culture misters.
Okay.
Okay? They're all Mr. something. All right. So we're going to keep with wrestling for a minute. The nickname of professional wrestler Paul Orndorff, famous in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, he was Mr. Wonderful. Mr. Wonderful.
Yes, he was. All right. The next one. The patriarch of Marvel's first family, portrayed on screen by Pedro Pascal just this summer.
Oh, gosh, it's too recent for me, and it's MCU stuff. I have no idea.
It's from the Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't know.
All right. The next one. Host of the preschool television series bearing his name, which ran from 1968 to 2001.
Oh, it's got to be Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yep, Mr. Rogers. You got it.
Yep.
All right. An American toy produced by Hasbro since 1952.
Got to be Mr. Potato Head.
Yep, Mr. Potato Head is correct. All right.
Didn't they like change the name recently just to Potato Head, and a bunch of right-wingers just went nuts?
I couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
Yeah.
All right. Described as a child in a grown man's body, this character solves various problems presented by everyday tasks and often causes disruption in the process, all without saying a word.
I don't know.
Mr. Bean.
Oh, Mr. Bean. Oh, okay.
I literally pulled that right off his Wikipedia page. They're like often described as.
I was never a big
grown man's
fan
body.
of Mr. Bean. I know that's.
Oh, okay.
That's not good.
All right, here's a really easy one for you. Nickname of the player who was the all-time leading point scorer in the NHL until his record was shattered by Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, Mr. Hockey. Gordy.
Yes. Yes. Yes, there you go. All right. This British character served as a butler for the American Owens family for 117 episodes from 1985 to 1990.
Gotta be Mr. Belvedere.
Yes, it was.
Bob Euchre.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, he was.
He wasn't Mr. Belvedere, but...
No, he was the head of the Owens family. All right. All right, next one. Well, everyone knows, of course, the name of this talking horse. Of course.
Oh, it's Mr. Ed.
Yes, it is. Mr. Ed. An easy one for you.
Old one.
All right.
Yep.
Yes. All right. I'm looking for 2 answers for this one.
Okay.
The names of Harvey Keitel and Tim Roth's characters in Quentin Tarantino's 1992 film Reservoir Dogs. I'll give you a hint. They were both named after colors.
Yeah, well, definitely. They were all colors in that movie.
And I want you to tell me who was who. Keitel and Roth.
Oh, gosh. I don't remember. Oh, I should know this. Mr. Brown and Mr. Black.
No, those are both wrong.
Yeah.
No. Harvey Keitel was Mr. White, and Tim Roth was Mr. Orange.
Mr. Orange. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Super easy one.
Okay.
Right at the end. Last one.
Sure.
Known for his roles as B.A. Baracus and Clubber Lang. He's also known for his distinctive hairstyle, his copious gold jewelry, and his catchphrase, "I pity the fool."
Known mostly for his neck full of gold. Got to go with Mr. T.
Yep, there you go. Wow, you really know your misters.
Very cool. Hey, that was really good. So, all right, my man. Excellent work on the trivia tonight, but I've got to put you on the spot again because it is time for another movie review next time out. So, Derek, it's over to you this time. So, what movie would you like us to watch and review?
Well, the one I want you to watch is, believe it or not readily available on the streamers for free. So you may have to pay a few bucks, which I apologize for, but fine. I think it'll be worth it.
I'll do it.
I recently read an article about this movie in the last couple of weeks, which is why I thought, you know what, it's a good time to revisit this. And it's Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy from 2004, starring Will Ferrell. And Christina Applegate.
This might surprise you. So I've never actually seen this movie.
Wow.
I know.
Okay, well, this is a good.
Everybody considers it to be like this comedy classic, but you know me, after 1989, I just kind of shut down. I just go back and watch old movies. So that's a really good movie to nominate because I want to watch it, and yeah, I think I'll be able to bring a fresh approach to that one. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Good job.
Well, and it's one of these movies where when it first came out, I wasn't really I didn't see this one in the theater. I caught it on cable, and it took me a couple of viewings. It was more the internet memes, and people would send you clips, and you see the little YouTube parts, and I was like, that's how I was first exposed to this movie, and then I eventually sat down and watched the whole thing, and now I actually really enjoy it. So I'm kind of hoping you'll like it. But again, we'll find out. Watch it, and we'll come back next week and talk all about Anchorman.
I will say that Will Ferrell, I like him in small doses. So
I'm very much the same.
I prefer him to be like a supporting character. So for him to lead the whole film, a little skeptical going into it, but it's going to be interesting. Definitely interesting to do this.
No, this movie has a lot more going on than just the ha-has, but we'll talk about that next week.
Definitely. Okay. We're going to come back next time. We're going to watch Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy, and we're going to review it and see how it goes. Until then, I am Chris McBrien. That's Derek Myers. And we're both saying thanks for taking the time to listen to Pop Goes Your World, the pop culture podcast for the generations.
Thanks for listening to Pop Goes Your World. You can contact Chris and Derek at popgoesyourworld.com. Please take a minute and review the podcast on iTunes or wherever you download and listen to the show.